everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. To all my new subscribers, thank you. I hope you enjoy the channel so far. Today I'm gonna show you guys how I make my take on oxtail. Oxtail is one of my favorite Jamaican dishes. I think my favorite would have to be red pea soup, and then chicken soup, and then oxtail is the third one, and then there's curry chicken, then there's jerk chicken. Anyways, so I'm excited to show you guys how I make my take on oxtail. Please keep in mind that this is my version of oxtail. Shout out to my grandma. I used her recipe as inspiration. She has the best oxtail I've ever had, hands down. There's no debate. So I'm excited to show you guys how I make oxtail. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Let's get right to it.
So the first step is to clean the oxtail. I just showed you the white membrane that surrounds each individual oxtail. And what I'm doing right here is trying to use a paring knife to separate the membrane from the meat. If you don't do this, it will make the meat very tough. And no matter how long you cook it, it will not get tender. So you just make a little slit in a piece of it, and then you hold the membrane tautly, so like pull it really hard, and then use a paring knife to gently remove the skin or the membrane. As you can see, once you do that and you just keep pulling it and slicing, it should come off easily. You need a very sharp knife for this to work. This is what it looks like when most of the membrane is removed, and the fat also. Next, we season the oxtail, and I start with my favorite, the Grace vegetable seasoning. Then I use an all-purpose seasoning that has some pimento and ground up ginger in it. That is what makes the food very flavorful. I add some Grace oxtail seasoning. This is salty, so only use a little. Then I add my liquid aminos. You can use soy sauce if you like. Then I add some ketchup. This is what creates that tangy flavor in oxtail. And then I add the Spur Tree oxtail seasoning. I use this as a marinade, and I let the oxtail sit in this at least for 4 hours, but preferably overnight. And right now I'm just mixing everything together to make sure all the seasonings are absorbed by the oxtail and it's getting in every crevice of the meat. And then once I'm finished doing that, I add browning. And browning is made of molasses, so I don't really add too much of it. And that's what creates that dark color in oxtail. So when you go and order oxtail from a Jamaican restaurant and it looks very, very dark, it's because of browning. And so after I add that, I just mix everything together again, and then I put it in the fridge and let it sit overnight. And then we're done with seasoning the oxtail. So once we're done seasoning the meat, we brown it. And I would encourage you to use a very big skillet. Make sure that you heat your oil on high heat. That's what will help to brown the outside of the meat without it starting to cook. Because if you do it like that, it'll be tough and not tender. We just want to brown it very quickly on both sides of the meat. And you also want to make sure that your meat is separated with enough space so that all of the meat cooks evenly. After that, I transferred the oxtail to the pressure cooker, and I had some boiling water waiting on the stove, and I added that to the pot. You just want to add enough water so that it barely covers all of the meat. You don't want to add too much water. And once I'm done adding the water, I then add my green peppers and some red peppers, some thyme, some scallions, and some yellow onion. And then I stir everything together. I used a traditional pressure cooker, not like a instant crock pot kind of thing. So you have to be careful when you're using one of those because it builds up a lot of pressure. You cook it on high heat in the beginning, and then after that, after 10 minutes has passed, you change it to medium heat and let it cook for 45 minutes. So once it's finished cooking, that's when I add my butter beans and I add the cornstarch and water mix to kind of thicken the gravy. I let it sit on the stove for a little bit, and this is what the final product looks like. I made it with rice and peas and cabbage, and it was so delicious.
Yay! You guys have made it to the end of the video. I'm so glad that you made it to the end. I hope that the video was very easy to follow and you enjoyed it. As always, I'm going to ask you guys, it will never fail. Every video I will ask you guys to like, comment, and subscribe. Down below, I'm going to pin a comment that I would love for you guys to respond to. I'm not sure what it's gonna be yet, so it's gonna be a surprise. I love surprises. Thank you again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye.